When a father treats his son to a surfing trip at a remote beach, neither of them could ever have expected the nightmare that would unfold. The danger of the ocean would make itself fully known through the ferocity of a great white shark, as tragedy strikes a family and echoes through an entire surfing community. Hit like and subscribe. This is Fierce. FierceOutdoor.com is your place to be for the best outdoor gear. We're not just about adventures, we're about conquering them. From the deepest valleys to the highest peaks, our equipment is designed for those who dare to challenge the wild. Join the ranks of fearless explorers with gear from Fierce Outdoor. Link in description. Khai Cowley, a native of Maslin Beach, was a third-generation roder, a member of the Seaview Road Board Riders Surf Club, following in the footsteps of his uncle and his grandfather before him. With a natural talent for riding the waves, he was not only a standout talent in the sport, but brought positive energy and good vibes to the club. He was especially encouraging to the younger members of the club, always wanting to make their time on the beach a positive one. He and his father were traveling to Ethel Beach, a small beach on the York Peninsula of South Australia, named after a ship which wrecked there over a century ago. The beach is well known as a great spot for strong surfers, often producing strong, tall waves. The weather was still nice enough that the beach was populated with locals from the nearby town of Marion Bay, out to enjoy the sand, surf, and warmth. Many of them were also surfers like Khai, looking to take advantage of the gusty weather for some practice. That weather, which made for tall waves and surfable swells, also created ideal conditions for ambush predators like the formidable great white shark. The water was clouded with silt stirred up by the waves, and froth and bubbles from the winds reduced visibility to almost zero. And when the prey can't see the predator, it's the ideal time for them to hunt. Out there among the waves, out of the view of the beachgoers, was a great white shark, one of the top predators of the Australian Ocean. Sharks of any kind were an uncommon sighting at the beach, and to see a great white in the area was even more rare. With the cloudy conditions, the shark had seen its chance to hunt in new waters, in search of a bounty of prey. The massive shark was almost completely hidden in the waves. If anything was visible, it would only have been its dorsal fin cutting through the surface of the ocean. But with the murky water and the froth from the waves, even the most attentive of surfers might not have seen it until it was too late. The shark, sensing something in the water that was large and warm, moved in silently. All predators have to make quick decisions when it comes to what might be a potential meal, and a great white shark is no different. A surfer and a seal both seem a worthwhile target to a shark, and this one was tragically about to close in on the former. Circling Khai, the shark knew one thing. What was in front of it was a live creature, and this was its chance to feed. Once it had a clear shot, it lunged. Whether it immediately sunk its teeth into the young surfer in a sneak attack, or if the first contact was part of the bump and bite behavior sharks are known to exhibit when feeding, we'll never know for sure. But that first bite was critical. The jaws of the great white shark can deliver 4,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, and combined with serrated razor-sharp teeth up to 3 inches long, this was more than enough to tear through muscle and bone, and to sever Khai Cowley's leg. If there was any chance for him, however slim, he needed to get out of the water. As a fading Khai Cowley struggled to swim back to shore, his father, who had witnessed the attack, raised the alert. He wasn't the only one who had witnessed the violent attack. Another local surfer, Tim Phillip, had seen it all from a nearby cliff face. Realizing that the situation was critical, he didn't hesitate. Tim leapt into action, grabbing a stranger's surfboard and leaping into the water, paddling out to Khai, who had fallen unconscious by now. The danger hadn't passed. As Tim grabbed the young surfer, he saw the telltale shape of the shark returning, circling the two of them, and he could see the size of the massive beast. The shark was almost 4 meters long, 13 feet. A great white shark as long as an average sedan was a terrifying encounter, and he could see what it had done to Khai. With the shark approaching, he had no choice but to back off again, releasing the surfer and retreating for his own safety. But when the shark lost interest a few moments later and continued out to sea, Tim acted once again. He knew that if he didn't go back for Khai, there might not be another chance to bring him back. He knew that at this point, the chance to save him was slim. He had lost so much blood from the bite wounds that had severed his leg, but he couldn't bear the thought of his body being lost to the sea. He knew this boy had family and friends who loved him, and no matter what, they would want to see him brought home. All the commotion had raised alarms back on the beach, and by the time they had reached the shore, paramedics were waiting. Even with the relative isolation of the beach, they were on scene almost immediately with the aid of an air ambulance. Shark attacks are always a cause for immediate action. Their teeth can do a terrifying amount of damage, leaving ragged edges and causing deep damage through all layers of the body, even down to the bone. In this case, everyone knew it was dire. This was not only a bite wound, the shark had managed to fully sever his leg. Even in a fully equipped hospital, this kind of injury would be incredibly difficult to treat. After the trauma of the injury and the massive amount of blood he had lost, paramedics were unable to revive Khai Cowley, and he was pronounced dead on scene. Local residents were surprised to find police roadblocks keeping visitors from accessing the beach that afternoon. And when the news spread that the reason behind the blockade was the fatal incident at the beach, the nearby town of Marion Bay was in shock. Despite the water surrounding South Australia being a prime location for water sports, shark attacks were uncommon, and fatal shark attacks have always been rare, with only 11 on record since the year 2000. And with them being such a rarity, when one happens, it makes them all the more shocking. Everyone in the town will remember this attack for years to come. Surfers know they share the waters with wildlife, and that sharks make their homes in the oceans alongside them. No matter how many precautions one takes, there's always that chance of danger. And when a shark strikes out of the blue, everyone takes notice, and everyone will mourn. Surf clubs across South Australia have been posting tributes to Khai Cowley. Both Microgram's Junior Surf Club and Surfing South Australia have spoken out online, remembering the teenager as talented and dearly loved, and many independent sentiments have been pouring in from across the country and across the internet. As much as this tragedy has affected family, friends, and everyone who knew him, no one is willing to let this keep them from the waves. But it is a heartbreaking reminder to always be aware, to keep your guard up, and to always pay attention to the conditions of the waters you are about to enter.